So we want 20 strength and 16 dexterity, I believe. Or 14. 14. So there's our 20 strength already. Alright. Now we're going to do what we always do, and we're going to go buy us a ton of arrows. Because later on in the game, I'm going to go through those like crack. I'm just going to go through them. Okay, let's go to equipment. Picked up a few new items. We picked up a, well, let's see, where's it at here? The Bastard Sword, 140 damage, but no other damage. Better crit attack. We only can just barely use that now. But the fire damage is still going to be better overall for us for now. So we need to get 14 dexterity. I like having halberds. They're fun. And we're going to go on to another section of the game here in a bit. But first, we got to go over to the cartographer's house and do this. And I think we get another Estus Flask shard, so that'll be good. So you get this big old room, all sorts of cool crap in it, and there's like one item. Right here. Pharaoh's Lockstone. And then if you look at this, you're like, oh man, that should be something. It's not. It literally does nothing. It's a big ol' MacGuffin bullcrap thing. Doesn't do nothing for you. Photographer hasn't returned yet. We can go down here and fight a one-time skeleton enemy. He's going to give us a human effigy, I believe. Yep, human effigy, not a big deal. We're going to go over here, open this up. I love how detailed the chests are in this game. This looks good. Oh, we got Soul Vessel. So that's a key item we need to show to somebody. There's our Estus Flask shard. So we'll have four. We'll have 4 health potions now instead of 3, so that's good. We need to go on top of the building now. Get this little item here. Titanite shards, some more thingies. Hurrah for revenge, he says. And jump down and kill the little piggies that are totally pointless to kill, and you get nothing for killing them. You know, we did get Pharaoh's Lockstone, so we're going to backtrack one more time. If you're sensing a pattern of backtracking in this game, you are 1,000,000% correct. Let's see, we gotta go here, down, and over into the room with all the, oh, what are they called? Giant arrow shooting things. Words are escaping me at the moment, and that's okay. Anytime you want to follow me up here, dude, that'd be great. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. So in case you caught that there, though, once we start using the halberd, it is a slower weapon. So you gotta really time out your attacks with the halberd. Oh yeah, and they blew up all their buddies over there in the fire, so that was kind of fun. That wall's getting in our way there, so we'll go ahead and kill them. I think there should be one more guy. I don't know. Let's see. One more guy, one more guy, one more guy, one more guy, one more guy. Nope. Alright. So now we gotta go down here and kill these homeboys again. Sound effects never hurt anybody. I hate these tight dudes. There we go. So what we did there is we used a strong attack. I don't use them too often, but if you look, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can go 1, 2, 3, and we can still get 4 attacks in there, but they're a little bit stronger, if you will. We're gonna go over here and use our Pharaoh's Lock Stone. Unlock this little secret. Yay! Break open that secret wall. There isn't anything in that corner. Won't ever fall for that. Got a Titanite slab. And a Claranthe ring. And that's a good ring to have because raises stamina recovery speed. So, every time we block and we lose a little bit of stamina, this is going to help us a bit. So we got some good little pieces of equipment on us now. We're doing good. I always love when the game just drops in the enemies there. I don't know if you saw them ragdoll in, but it's pretty funny. Now, there is a boss over there, like I said yesterday. I think I did, that we can go in and kill. I shouldn't say yesterday because it's not going to be yesterday, but there's a boss over there we can go back and kill, but right now we're just not prepared for that boss yet. So we're going to go back here again. Eventually we will get to the area I keep saying we're going to go to. Alright, so we're here. Making sure I got everything I want to get. I am going to show you where that Dark Covenant is to make the game a lot tougher. That's up here. We're not going to do it right now. Because like right now we're depending on NPCs to help us with boss battles. But you can go up to this altar and kneel before it. And it makes it so enemies don't disappear in the game. The game's about times and a half tougher. So it's almost like using a bonfire aesthetic to turn a normal section of the game into New Game Plus, which is something we could do here, but we're not going to. And instead, we are going to go down this way. Now, sometimes when I play this game, I like to go down this way first before that whole section that we just did. Just to kind of piss around and get some quick souls. Like when I first played Dark Souls 2 and I was still pretty super new at this, I used to come down here and farm the giants, the giant knights, for their souls, which was okay, I guess, but, you know, it takes forever. So we got the Crimson Parma, which really isn't that good of a shield, but again, you're supposed to come down here earlier on than what we have. Because, you know, effectively, we already have one whole section of the game done. Minus one tiny little bit, but, you know, we got a good 95% of it done. Okay, so we're coming up into this area that's a super fun area. Not ultra hard. It has 2 bosses in it. It's not very big. And it has these guys. Now, you don't have to fight these guys at all until after you kill the first boss. After you kill the first boss, you're going to have to fight them constantly, and they are just the biggest jerks. And you're going to know this. What we do is we let these big homeboys do their deal. Now, you can have them walk off the cliff if you want. I prefer not to because the stone giant or the giant armor set that these guys have is one of my favorite armor sets in the game. But it, you have to just have insane stamina to wear it. It's super heavy, super big, super annoying. on fire, but we're not going to rest at it. Oh man, we forgot to give the lady the flask, didn't we? We did. See, now that was stupid of me. That's okay. There we go. We're not going to finish this attack. Let's see. Here's a thing over here we can grab. Alright, so we're not going to do, when we get down to the boss here, I'm getting ahead of myself, I'll show you. Here's, we're going to die is what's going to happen. Good job. Alright, so, don't do that. Don't be a scrub. Oh my god. And he actually jumped down too, which was great. Dumb. Don't do that, kids. That was easily avoidable. I just wasn't paying attention. But like I was going to say, is there's a trick to beating the boss without ever even touching the boss coming up here. We're not going to do it. You can get a little bit gambly for my taste, so I prefer to just beat the boss normal. It's not like he's a hard boss, so... I mean, obviously, I'll probably end up dying at least once to him just because, you know, scrub player, but... Alright, let's see if we can do better at this here. There we go. Oh, we got hailstones. Let's see what that does here. Hailstone. Ooh. So that must be an upgrade item. Hailstone removes additional powers from equipment. Oh, that's stupid. That's stupid. Let's not be dumb this time, guys. You know what? What's happening here is we're being dumb, so we're going back down a little bit. There we go. He's still pushing us around pretty good with his sword attack, so we're going to bring him down here. Where if he's pushing us around, we don't care. This is just going to be a long day. There we go, that's how we're going to use. Oh, that we had him there. So, obviously, I should be doing this much faster. I am not. There we go. So, I do apologize for that, folks, but we are going super slow here. Old night leggings. Alright, let's see if we can even wear those right now. So, old night leggings. It's going to increase our weight a little bit from... It's going to increase almost 5 pounds. But, look at the difference in stats here. Yeah. Knight armor is great. Lloyd's talisman, not a big deal. So, there is a boss in there. You can see him in there. And we can fight him on that tiny little ring. But what we're going to do is we're going to fight him on a slightly larger ring. I'm going to use this item. And bada boom. There you go. Now we have several options that we can choose to use here. But we gotta be smart on how we use them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go this way. Down here. And we're gonna go right to a boss fight. Alright. See if we can do this and not die like a scrub. So the trick here with this guy is if you choose not to do the trick of the fight is you want to really watch your stamina, because if he does hit you, it's going to hurt your stamina pretty well. Which is obviously something you don't want to happen. It's like, I'm getting kind of cocky, so we're going to slow it down a little bit. Slower roll. Okay, we staggered him there, so that was pretty good. So see, he hit us and he took away a good chunk of our health, but we're doing okay. We're actually doing... I would actually kill for this fight to normally go this easy, so there we go. That's the entire boss fight, guys. Straight up. Not really a boss fight. Kind of just a one-shot, blam, 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 you're done. We're going to go up here, talk to an NPC, like the bonfire. This girl's a jerk. As you can see, a lot of people don't like her.
Are you from these parts? My name.
So let's see what she can offer. She can offer us a chime. She's got a cool ring. She's got tons of great spells. So later on in the game, we're going to want to kill her. But not yet.
No need for the god. Just that.
We're going to
Why did I do my
talk to her until she repeats her stuff.
And being... I expected without any to apply. Sorry. I expected without it to apply. Sorry.
Alright, so she's done talking to us.
The gods.
But yeah, so she's a self-righteous, crazy-ass chick who believes that she's better than everybody, and she's just the worst. Just the worst, guys.
Is that a shot? Here to see luck, however.
So we're gonna upgrade our flask here. And we're gonna try this up just a little bit so you guys can hear a little bit more. And we're gonna level up our, what do we need? Our dexterity. I think that's what we needed. Double check here real quick. Oh, we got Grand Lance, fashion from rare. Guess I didn't catch us picking that up. Back to see what this was again. Counter strength, level counter damage, inflict damage. Let's see here. We can use this now. Pretty good weapon. Let's see what other stuff we can buy today. Let's go over here, talk to her. She's got Pharaoh's Lockstone that we need later on, so we'll buy that from her. So we don't forget. Okay. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to also buy a ring that we don't need right now, but just so I don't forget to buy it. Because I always forget to buy it. So if we buy it ahead of time, it won't be an issue.
You do have time.
Buy this Ring of Whispers.
Satisfied?
So we definitely could use that for leveling up a little bit more, but that's okay. Let's see here. I don't think we have any fire gems or fancy infusing that we can do yet. And we could make our halberd a little bit stronger. I think that's a good use of items. And we're just making our weapon a little bit stronger just because we can. Titanite shards are easy enough to find, so it's not a big deal. So we were doing 175 damage, now we're doing 210 damage. So that's going to make a decent headway in some of our fights coming up. Okay, and now we're going to go try to fight another boss, if I can pull it off. We're going to go back and replay that section of the game we were just in, and see how that turns out. Okay, so, because we could go into a whole new section of the game over there, but I don't feel like doing that yet. We're going to go back and attempt to be cool. We'll see how well it goes. There we go. So, now you'll notice, like I said, these guys are active, and they are just the biggest jerks. I absolutely suck at fighting them like you're supposed to, so you'll notice I use lots of cheap methods when I can. Because that's just the way I can do things, so. Let's see, so, again, halberd, stupidly slow. Takes up a bunch of stamina. But, one of my favorite weapons are the halberds, so. Go over here, cross this nightmare-inducing path. Get a pointless item. I think it's a pointless item. Ring of Binding. It's okay. What Ring of Binding does is it reduces our HP loss while we're undead. But what we have is a lot better, so we're not worried about that. We'd rather regenerate life than worry about extra little tick of health. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. In case you can tell, someone here doesn't hunt. I'm terrible at leading my shot, so I think if I hunted, I'd be better at it, but I'm not a big fan of hunting. Nothing about cruelty to animals or nothing, it's just not my thing. I don't like sitting out for hours on end in a mucky swamp or reeds getting covered in ticks. So I can kill something. It's, to me, that is not self-rewarding, so. But at the same time, if you do hunt, that's awesome, and I am glad that is a hobby that you enjoy. Because I can have disagreements with people and not be a dick about it, which is a art form that I believe has been lost over the ages. Okay, let's see if we can trick this guy here. So this is kind of a long process here, but we're trying to get him to follow us down. And I always gotta turn around and readjust here because if I try to back it up, for some reason I always screw up where the door is, so. Because it's not where you think it should be. Like right here even, you see I got stuck, so. Man, this guy is serious about killing my ass, isn't he? You know what, we really shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so we're kind of wasting arrows here. And I'm okay with that because I hate fighting this guy. He has some incredibly strong attacks that if he does hit you with them, he will mess your day up. But he's also probably the weakest of the Stone Knights, so. And he's usually my most problematic of the Stone Knights, so. Killing him helps me a lot. And I'm not sure if you caught that. There was like a weird little noise there. And what happens is if you're nearby these other knights, it triggers them to like lose their damn mind. But now we're not worried about it, so haha. So yeah, now we're doing some real damage here, which is good. And what we're going to attempt to do is eventually go kill a dragon over here, which isn't even the boss, by the way. He's just a dragon. There we go. Got to use the double attack off this thing. It's ridiculously good. Boom. 4 hits. Now we can kill those guys. How cool is that? 4 hits and we can kill them. I'm okay with that. Okay, so we've got a few more of these little nighty night dudes to kill. Because they're just a peach. Okay, so we did that. So I don't know if you caught that there. He tried to trick us. He just stands still and he's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching you. And then he jumps forward and he's like, oh, I was kidding. I was gonna kill you. That's all good. I was gonna kill you. So up there's our dragon buddy. He's a dick. So we're going to see if we can get to him first. The problem with the dragon is he's way up there. We're way down here. Well, that's not what we want to do. I'll pick up the item. There we go. And, I honestly don't know if we can hit him this early or not in the game. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, I wish we had poison. we're going to die here, so we're going to get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, we're going to see how much damage we can do if we can hit him in the head. Ugh, 22 damage at a time is not good. I don't think we have enough arrows to do enough damage to him. We'll find out here. No, there's probably a quicker way to do this. You could probably like run up and fight him and all this jazz. I am not good at that, so at least this early in the game, I'm definitely not that good yet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep cheap shotting him. It'd be better if we had the archer's ring, which increases our range. It'd be better if I had stronger arrows. But it's all good. We're getting 100 damage off per hit, or per volley. So it's not end of the world. And there's other ways, like I said, that you can definitely do this, folks. That's way better than what I'm doing. But I'm never in a rush. I don't need to beat the game right away. I don't need to like be like a big dick bee. You know, I don't need to show off to anybody here, so I just want to have fun with it, and this is a lot of fun for me. If you are watching this at home, you could definitely just speed this up, and you wouldn't be missing out on too much, I promise you. Boom. So never mind. We're doing about what 70 some damage per volley. And then this is a one-time enemy, so he's meant to be a mini boss, and then he doesn't show up here again until you restart the game. And by the time you restart the game, he's way stronger, but so are you, and it equals out pretty easily. You really want to dodge that fire blast of his, because obviously, not fun, not good times. What we're trying to do is at least get him one head hit per volley. Oops, we might get hit here on this one, I don't know. Oof, that. Yeah, oof. Sometimes the run doesn't work the way you want it to work. It's still a video game, so there are glitchy parts. There we go, that's what we wanted to see. So you can see we have 368 arrows still, we're doing fine. The dragon's almost halfway dead, I think. Okay, not quite halfway dead, that's all good. So yeah, definitely, if you have poison arrows, this is the way to go. Later on in the game, that's how you beat this, is just fire a few poison arrows at the homeboy and you're good. I like to go back here and make sure he resets, because sometimes he'll stay up there and he'll keep firing like little fireballs at you, and it's not fun. And the way you're supposed to fight these guys is you're supposed to run up underneath them and kind of just chill under their feet. And if you do that, you can kind of whoop their ass without ever even getting hit. The dragons are so big that they're kind of goofy. like later on, there's a dragon. The first time you really see dragons, there's one as a mini boss. That's kind of fun. I don't even know if he does anything different than a normal dragon. Well, he does. He can go up into his corner and breathe fire a certain way, but I mean, it is what it is. Again, I wish I could show you guys just like this cool, epic, fun fight here, but you know, that's taking into chance that you could die. There's all sorts of things that could go wrong, and I tend to be a cautious, casual player, so why would I take those chances when I can do this and take my time and have fun with it? So we got him down pretty well now. We're getting there. We're getting there. Nah, this is probably the most, I shouldn't say the most boring part, but probably the most boring part of all the playthroughs is going to be this section here. Shakey runs back and forth to shoot a dragon in the head. I'll tell you, this is one of these days. What I'm gonna do too, guys, is I'm gonna do a not Dark Souls. I'm gonna do a Kingsfield game series. Again, those are just, it's a series you don't see a lot of people do playthroughs of. A lot of people didn't like the game. I personally think they were some of the best games ever made. But again, that's just me. Considering the time that the first Kingsfield was made, what, 94, 95, graphics weren't the best. At the time, it was just this mind-blowing 3D game that just, God, it was beautiful. And oddly enough, I didn't really have a bunch of glitches to it, which was strange. For the 1990s games, it was a lot of like, here's a fake wall, we're going to plaster a background on it, parallax backgrounds, and Kingsfield was this one humongous entity of a game, no loading screens, it was just beautiful. But again, I get kind of nostalgic gamer on a certain thing. Final Fantasy VII, if I ever decide to do a playthrough of that, which I probably won't, only because there's like 10 million Final Fantasy playthroughs. But if I ever did a Final Fantasy playthrough, like, I'm one of those players who doesn't shut up about how perfect Final Fantasy VII is. And you're going to run into people like, well, I don't understand. And like, well, then you just don't get me. And all of that is nostalgia, though, because I can see a lot of faults with Final Fantasy VII. I can see there's a lot of issues with it. But in my opinion, it was a really good game, and I'm going to be in the slim majority here, but I always thought 7 and 8 were better than 9, and that's definitely an argument that's never led into a few yelling matches between me and friends. I shouldn't say yelling matches, but it's been some interesting conversations while my friends were drunk and I was hanging out with them. You know, when you hang out with nerds and have fun, your conversations tend to go in weird directions. So we're doing pretty good. Again, super boring. You know, you can choose to come back to this later on with way better weapons. We could have continued on the pathways to another section of the game. I didn't want to yet. I wanted to open up this here. I am missing an item that I was supposed to grab, and I can't remember where I grabbed it at. Shoot, I know where the item is now. Alright, so we need to go back and get an item that I missed, but I think it's we need it for our NPC coming up, is what happens here. It's a token of fidelity is what we're missing. Oh, but we gotta switch path. We can't get that yet. We'll come back to it. So anyway, yay! 2,000 hours later, guys. There we go. You know that was worth it, right? That was totally worth it. Okay, so we're going to use a human effigy. Hopefully